Hi everyone and welcome to part 2 of the endocrine system. In this section we'll be looking at the hormones themselves and their functions. Firstly, thyroid stimulating hormone, also known as TSH. This is produced by the thyroid gland in the neck and it stimulates the thyroid gland to secrete its own hormone known as thyroxine. TSH is also known as thyrotropin. Luteinizing and follicle-stimulating hormones are produced by the ovaries in women and the testes in men. It controls the reproductive functioning and sexual characteristics. In females, it stimulates the ovaries to produce estrogen and progesterone, and the testes in males to produce testosterone and sperm. These are also known as gonadotropins. LH is sometimes referred to as interstitial cell stimulating hormone in males, and we'll cover this in our lecture on the reproductive system. Prolactin releasing hormone is produced by the breasts and it stimulates them to produce milk. This hormone is secreted in large amounts during pregnancy and breastfeeding, but is present at all times in both men and women. Growth hormone is produced by all cells in the body and it stimulates growth and repair. There is ongoing research into identifying the functions of growth hormone in adult life. The exact role of melanocyte-stimulating hormone in humans is unknown, but it increases skin pigmentations in amphibians. Adrenocorticotrophic hormone, or ACTH, is produced by the adrenal glands which reside above the kidneys. This hormone stimulates the adrenal gland to produce a hormone called cortisol, the steroids of the body. ACTH is sometimes known as corticotropin. Antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, is produced by the posterior pituitary gland. Its target organ is the kidneys, and it controls the blood fluid and mineral levels in the body by affecting water retention by the kidneys. This hormone is also known as vasopressin or arginine vasopressin. Oxytocin is also produced by the posterior pituitary gland, and it has effects in the uterus and the breasts. It affects uterine contractions in pregnancy and birth and subsequent release of breast milk. Secretion of hormones from the anterior pituitary gland is controlled by the production of hormones by the hypothalamus. There are a number of different hormones and can be split into two main types. Releasing hormones, which tell the pituitary to switch on production, and inhibiting hormones, which tell the pituitary to switch off production. In total, more than 200 hormones or hormone-like substances have been discovered, and 5 of these hormones are controlled by hormones released by the pituitary gland. Cortisol is produced by the adrenal glands and has several functions. It promotes normal metabolism, maintains blood sugar levels and blood pressure, and provides resistance to stress, as well as acting as an anti-inflammatory agent. It also plays a part in regulation of the fluid balance in the body. Reduction or failure of adrenal function can result in Addison's disease, and this leads to a reduction in all aspects of metabolic control. In cases of chronic adrenal insufficiency, usually the patient will complain of chronic fatigue, salt craving, loss of appetite, nausea, recurring abdominal pain, and lack of energy. As cortisol is responsible for suppression of melanocyte-stimulating hormone, the patient may also display increased skin pigmentation. Thyroxine is produced by the thyroid gland and controls many body functions including heart rate, temperature and metabolism, including metabolism of calcium. Increased thyroxine within the body, for example, in a patient suffering from hyperthyroidism, will result in warm, smooth, sweaty, flushed skin. Decreased thyroxine, for example, with a patient suffering from hypothyroidism, will result in dry, coarse, thickened skin with reduction in the ability to sweat. Testosterone is produced in the testes in males and is responsible for the secondary male sex characteristics, for example facial hair, body hair and muscle development. It is essential for the production of sperm and also acts to strengthen the bones. Testosterone has many influences on the body. Aside from the effects on hair growth, testosterone in part controls the level of activity of the oil glands or sebaceous glands within the skin. Higher levels of testosterone can therefore lead to acne in adolescents. Some birth control pills have been found to block testosterone skin reaction. Estrogen is produced by the ovaries and facilitates the growth of tissues of the sex organs and other tissues related to reproduction. It also acts to strengthen bones and has a protective effect on the heart. It encourages hair to remain in the growth phase, and a reduction in estrogen will therefore result in thinning and loss of hair. When gonadotropin hormones become unbalanced within the system, changes may be seen in the body. For example, testosterone, the effects of which are opposed by estrogen, may become the more dominant hormone post-menopause, and as a result, facial hair may increase as the estrogen levels decrease. Elevated estrogen levels in males can result in the condition gynecomastia, or development of breast tissue. Progesterone is also produced by the ovaries, and it promotes the changes in the uterus that occur in preparation for the implantation of a fertilized ovum. It also prepares the breast for milk production. Control of hormone production is monitored continuously and regulated using feedback loops, as we have seen from our previous session. It is important for you to be familiar with the hormones mentioned during this session and their functions. That concludes our sessions on the endocrine system.